Very good morning to you guys. Hope you're doing well. So what's happening with the retail sentiment is that they are very short, but they've added short over the last 24 hours. I'm surprised by this because I thought they were going to be getting stopped out and we're going to start seeing a reversal on the indices, but they're actually adding short. If they do that, it's very likely that indices are going to continue higher because there's people selling. There has to be someone to take the other side of that transaction. If the herd are buying, then there has to be someone to sell. If the herd are selling, there has to be someone to buy. And it's that entity who has to take the other side of that transaction, has vast amounts of capital. Okay. And so obviously we can see that we're quite risk on. But the thing is that they've added to that bias over the last 24 hours. I thought they were going to be given up. But clearly not, which is quite scary to be fair. And they've added short on DAX and the France 40, and that's the reason for that. Technicals are strong, out of 100, it's a good score. We had a VIX was very much crushed, which that's risk on. The indices rose, but the dollar was flat, and well, that is what it is, isn't it? It's risk on, and the fact that these guys are sold, they got punished, so that would be fair, that would be normal. Now the dollar's at an interesting support, which I might be able to show you on the daily. We got some level on the C here, this harmonic, this C level. We probed it, and I was saying perhaps if I was a gambling man, I expect that price would be above this level because we probably could argue we've oversold slightly on the technicals and now we're above that level. So we're probably going to chop again potentially, and it's going to be playing havoc with our robot. We encountered quite a lot of loss over Asia, but it is what it is, and we have to keep testing. So that's that, and so we're fairly risk on today, but we have to be nearing extremes now. Like the herd have to start giving up because it's just very, very extreme. And the change from last week as follows: DAX and France, and they've also gone long dollar Swiss, dollar yen, and they've sold oil as well. QDB scores quickly. AU, GU, EU at the top, good scores. Good scores, good performance. EA, GA, dollar Swiss at the bottom, and they've got poor scores, poor performance, so that would be normal. Okay, and I was saying yesterday, if you remember, looking for longs on these because they've got good scores, you would have done okay. Very, very choppy yesterday on the dollar, and so the robot is that what we had in past tense, we had a thing called the profit lock. Now that's now been removed. And what the profit lock is, it just simply guarantees that you've made X amount of pips. So we had lots of buys on the New Zealand dollar USD, but on the slight retracement that we would normally see, we'd get out at 10 pips, and it wouldn't track price because we removed the trailing stop. Now, had we have taken the profit lock off, we would have got, we would have done very nicely. We would have had a home run on a lot of trades running because we have lots of concurrent trades. So the profit lock shot ourselves in the foot. So that would have been a nice trade and we would have enjoyed lots of profit, but now that's been removed. So we have to at least break even. Okay, and if not, then we'll have to look at the timings. If we can't get the timings right, we'll have to go down a technical route, and then it'll be like robot version 3, and then we'll go proper, fully technical, and then we can add sentiment on top of the technicals, and that'll be like 3.1 or 3.2 or something like that. So 2 is basically version 2 of the robot, is sentimental using the bubbles, but obviously if things pump or dump on risk appetite, it's going to impact your currency pair. So this is a risk on move. However, if we really dumped on risk appetite, this would have fallen regardless of the retail sentiment. So whether or not this is going to be a retracement for the next leg, possibly because we're risk on, but we can flip on risk appetite, and that's the very, very difficult thing. So we're going to see how we go today, tomorrow, and then next week. And if we don't even break even by Friday, next Friday, then we'll have to go down a technical route, okay? And that's what we'll do, because we need to make this bot profitable. We've been doing it for too long now. The SSI snapshots, you can see how the herd are short on indices. but they're long on the UK 100, but that's okay. So gold, we're slightly range bound now with the sideways, so there's no comment there. They might go long. If they do, then we'll break the low. So you could look for sells below 1986 or longs above 2005, but we have got some weekly supply up here, so it's worth noting. S&P, yeah, they'd sold it here. Alright, so it'll become I'm very surprised by this, by the way. I thought they would be giving up and not adding. They've clearly added to their bearish bias, and of course if they do that, we'll come up and it's going to punish them. It's very, very bonkers. It was a crazy week this week, and of course we've got Thanksgiving today as well, so the US will be closed, so it's going to be a quiet one. So I recommend sitting on your hands, because it's going to be a low volatility day. And all it takes is one little bit of news, and then things can go a bit ugly quickly. So they'd sold it. So that's saying in Discord, they're very quick to sell at the slightest indication of a decline. They're like, right, we're getting involved. This is going to fall now. And of course, boom, it goes up to, it's basically a rug pull. So they'd sold it. They saw the price action, and I thought, well, this looks quite bearish, and admittedly it did fall quite a bit, and it trapped them, and up we come. Horrific, isn't it? It's so cruel. And DAX, nothing we can see here with the sideways, so they're basically holding on to their bearish bias, and I guess probably 16,000 will probably break them, and at least to break their spirit, and then they can get crushed, and then they'll have to concede. So perhaps what it might be like a close above 16,000, and then that will like cement the fear, and then they'll get out, and then we can fall. Okay, we have to. The only way that we're going to fall is if these guys give up, and that's it. So the robot's been a bit of a pickle because of the risk on off fluctuations, and the dollar's going to wobble on its support here. This is the daily support here, so this is a key level. This might have been like a fake out, so got to be really careful. And like I say, it's Thanksgiving today, so be careful, because the banks are closed. If we have like any huge risk event story materialized, then the algo is going to really kick in, and it can play a little bit of havoc with positioning and stuff. So be careful. Very, very choppy. I'm just sitting on my hands because I'm really, really unsure about what's going to happen. I think we're probably a little bit toppy on the indices, to be fair, but if they're heard are going to continue to sell, up will come. But this has to, they have to give up soon, and I think a break above 16,000 will crush their spirits, and it will destroy them, and then that should be it there, and then they'll give up, and then once they've given up, we'll see some like normality return to indices. And then we can start trading indices again, but that's just too skewed. It's crazy. So remember to trade safely, and I'm around if you need me. I won't mind at all, and have a good day.